What's up, EV Clan? Alex Espion here, and welcome back to the next episode of the Pokemon Gold Randomizer Nuzlocke. In the last episode, we made it to Cerulean City, and, before that, we found out, actually, that there was some suspicious person in Cerulean City. We went to the power plant, and we found out that there was a suspicious person here, and that, a part from the generator in the power plant was stolen, and that's why the magnet train has stopped working. So, I'm just gonna use my deductive reasoning skills to come to the conclusion that, those two are related. Don't tell me how I figured that out. I guess I'm just the next Sherlock Holmes. There used to be a cave here that had horribly powerful Pokemon in it. Oh. What is going on? Aya? Yeah, me too, man. My item finder is responding. Huh. Your item finder? Is there a secret item here? His item finder is saying something, which would seem to indicate that there is a secret item around. Are you gonna give me that item finder? I think that... I don't think he's gonna give it to me. But yeah, he's right. I guess the cave used to extend farther this way, huh? Dare I say, like, well, it seems like there's still, like, a rock face over there, but I guess, like, the actual cave entrance part of it is gone. Yeah, like, I don't see a, like... Before, I feel like if you looked out on this if you looked out from this edge of Cerulean City, I feel like before you saw, like, a pathway with a guy who looks like he has an afro because the cave door is, like, right over his head. You know what I'm talking about if you play Pokemon Red and Blue. But now I don't see that. I don't see the guy, I don't see the pathway, I don't see the guy, I don't see the cave door that makes him look like he has an afro. I don't see any of that. So I guess, yeah, that part has just been, that part of the cave, or, like, the entire cave, really, probably, I guess, by judging by what this guy says, has been demolished so that the town can expand this way, and they can make really nothing at all. Like, they didn't really put anything here, just a bunch of flowers, and a path that leads to nowhere, so I really don't know why they felt the need to expand this town, to ultimately do nothing with the new space, but here we are, I guess. So, yeah, now we're just in Cerulean City. I don't know what we're gonna do first. I mean, we're just gonna explore the town, see what people have to say, and then if we don't find the suspicious guy, after we've, like, talked to everyone in town, then I guess, if we don't find the suspicious guy by the time we've, like, talked to everyone in town, I guess we'll go and check if we can do the gym. We might not be able to do the gym until we find the suspicious guy. I don't know the order of things. That's always something that you have to think about in Pokemon, is, like, you enter a new town, what do they want you to do? Like, the story thing in the town, like, the story, the part of the story that's in the town first, or the gym? Do they want you to do the story stuff in the town first, or do they want you to do the gym first? That's something you always gotta think about, and I've never played, the post-game of Gen 2, so I don't know. I've never played the post-game of Gen 2, and I don't remember much from playthroughs of the post-game of Gen 2. So, yeah, I don't know in this case. I don't know yet if they want me to do, like, gym first or story stuff first in this town. But, we'll just see if we run into the story stuff while talking to everyone in town, and if we don't, we'll try to do the gym, and then if we find that we can't do the gym until we do the story stuff, then I guess I just gotta look for the story stuff harder. Or we gotta do some other story someplace else before we find the suspicious guy here and do the story stuff here. Zubat! Zubat! Okay, thank you, Zubat. My husband lives happily with Pokemon. He got through trades. Oh, okay. That's neat. Ah, I'm so happy. So your wife says. Okay. And what is this Pokemon? Kangaskhan. Garoo! Garoo! Ooh, you got a Kangaskhan. Okay, the Zubat trade is a little bit odd. I don't know what you traded with the Zubat. I hope it wasn't something very good. But, I like the Kangaskhan trade. That's nice. Depending on what you traded for it, that's really nice. What does this say? There's a notice here. The bike shop has moved to Goldenrod City in Johto. Oh, so it's like... Huh, they just moved regions. So it's not like a different bike shop owned by a different company. It's just like... They moved. They left the Kanto region. So now no one in Kanto can get a bike. Sorry, cycling roaders. Sorry to all the people who want to go on Cycling Road but can't anymore because the bike shop is gone, so they can't get any bikes here. And it's like, this was the only bike shop in the entire region. Seriously, like, you got rid of this bike shop, now no one in Kanto can buy a bike. They have to go to Johto to buy a bike. They have to go all the way to Johto. They have to go all the way to another region to buy a bike now because you removed the one bike shop in this region. That's actually kind of messed up. It's locked. Aw, man. My nostalgia, the nostalgic part of my brain hurts because they killed the bike shop. Okay, so I believe that's every building in town that we can go into, we've gone into at this point. I didn't see the suspicious guy, maybe he's up here. Here's, like, Gold Nugget Bridge, or whatever it's called. I think that's what it's called. Right? Nugget Bridge. Actually, not Gold Nugget Bridge, I think it's just Nugget Bridge. Cerulean Cape, ahead. Okay, cool, cool. So yeah, that's all the people outside talked to, I believe, and that's all the houses gone into, and that's all the people in the houses that we've gone into talked to. Unless we haven't talked to this guy, hold on. Kanto's power plant is toward the end of Route 9. There was an accident of some sort there. Oh wait, there's actually a person here to talk to. My Slowbro and I make an awesome combination. Slowbro, show me your confusion! You're wrong? Okay. He, does not know. You're wrong? Yeah, okay, buddy. You'll get that confusion someday, don't worry. Unless we didn't go into this house yet. No, wait, this is the bike shop, right? Locked bike shop over here. There's a notice here. Sorry, all the buildings in this town look more or less the same. Yeah, okay, this is the bike shop. So yeah, I think we have seriously talked to all the NPCs in this town now, because we've talked to all the NPCs outside, and we've gone into all the buildings and talked to all the NPCs in each of those buildings. So, yeah. Actually, we still have to talk to people in the Pokemon Center and the Mart. So let's do that real quick, and then we'll go see if we can take on the gym. The Magnet Train travels at over 340 miles per hour. It goes between Kanto and Johto in almost no time at all. It really makes Johto accessible. Well, that's good, because they moved the bike shop all the way to Johto. You have to go to an entirely different region. But hey, I mean, at least there's a magnet train, right? But anyone who wants to get a bike now in Kanto is freaking screwed, because the magnet train's no longer working. So, sucks to be y'all, I guess, because, the people who own that little bike shop in Kanto, got a taste of the big money, and decided, you know what, we're moving business to another place. Forget about these people in Kanto that made us what we were, that built up our business from nothing. We're just gonna leave them and go to an entirely different region. Go corporate, go somewhere else where the business is booming. Classic small town store becomes big corporate business. Disgusting. Route 9 stretches to the east. The power plant is at the end. Good morning. Welcome to our Pokemon Center. Yep. Okay, Nurse Joy, heal up the Pokemon for me. Thank you, girly. So yeah, actually, at the end of last year, I completed Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Finally. It took me like 4 years, but I finally did it. I was doing, the Black Eagle house, not because of Dorothea. I actually don't really care about Dorothea. At the end, when you're asked to, like, get engaged to someone, like, who to give the engagement ring to, or, like, the special ring, I don't know if it's called an engagement ring, but it's, like, essentially an engagement ring. But, like, when you're asked who to give that ring to, like, spend the rest of your life with, I think it says. And the options, I don't know if these are the only options, or if these are just the only options I had because of, like, the way I played the game. But the options for me were, like, Dorothea, Edelgard, Sothis. I chose Sothis. Edelgard, if I had to say, like, friend, or, like, relationship, or, like, if I had to say, like, friendship or couple with Edelgard, I'd say friendship. I do not see Edelgard as, like, a very... Hubert can have Edelgard, you know? Like, Hubert and Edelgard... I ship Hubert and Edelgard. Edelgard is hard not my type. Edelgard is way too serious of a person to be my type, I'll be real. Cerulean City. A mysterious blue aura surrounds it. Edelgard is not my type because she's too serious, and Dorothea is not my type because I feel like she's trying too hard. And I mean, I get that it's kind of her job to try too hard, because she's in a place full of nobles, and she's like a commoner. Like, she needs to get married to a noble, in order to, like, keep her high standings in the world that she's achieved through, like, working her way up from being a commoner to, like, now being with the noble. She has to, like, secure her high standings by marrying a noble. So I get why she's trying so hard to, like, get someone to be with her, but I also don't want her because she's trying so hard, you know? Like, she's obviously trying so hard, and I get why she's doing it, and I get why it's a part of her character, but at the same time, it turns me off that she's trying so hard. I'll be real. I'm a huge fan of Cerulean Gym's Misty. I mean, I feel like a lot of people are. You think of like most popular gym leaders. Brock and Misty are definitely up there just because of how important they were in the anime. Cerulean City, Pokemon Gym. Leader, Misty. The tomboyish mermaid. Oh, I like that. In general, I kind of hate tomboys, but tomboyish mermaid is a good way of describing Misty, so I like that. Oops, I so sorry. Why does it say I so sorry? I saw that and I'm like, I cannot say anything but I so sorry. Oops, I so sorry. You not hurt, okay? Oh no, wait, he just can't talk. I very busy. No time for talking with you. Not good for me if seen by somebody. Oh no, you seen me already. I make big mistake. Hey, you, forget you see me, okay? You see, here, no, nothing. Okay, bye, kid, nothing. Bye-bye, I'll go. What the frick, caveman? Caveman ass crap? I saw I so sorry, and I couldn't help but think Temmie from Undertale, and so I voiced it like it was Temmie from Undertale. Oh crap, Misty's not here. And I know that doesn't sound much like Temmie from Undertale, but you gotta agree that at least it's the same vibe as Temmie from Undertale, you know? Since Misty's out, same general vibe. Since Misty's out, we'll be away too. Gym trainers. Oh, so Misty's just like full on up and left. It's not like oh, she left because like the Team Rocket guy suddenly came in and told her to leave and like made things, you know, this Team Rocket guy told her to leave or like threatened to do something to her unless she left. It's literally like she just left, I suppose. Because it's not like they had to leave in a hurry because some guy threatened them and like, get out of the building now! Like, they literally had time to make a sign. So I guess it was a planned absence, huh? So where the heck is Misty right now? I mean, we found the suspicious-looking guy. We learned that he talks like a caveman, or Temmie, depending on how you want to interpret it. I'm gonna say Temmie because I think that's funnier. If the criminal man talks like Temmie. Because Temmie is a little criminal, let's be honest. If Temmie committed, like, arson, if Temmie was the one who burned down Undyne's house instead of you, and when I say instead of you, that's, I think, honestly, being generous towards Undyne, because I'm pretty sure that was her fault, the house burning down. She did tell you to make it hotter and hotter and hotter until everything exploded. But exploded into a fiery mess. But, yeah, if you and Undyne didn't burn down the house, I can believe that Temmie would. I believe that Temmie would commit arson. I'll be real. The road is closed until the problem at the power plant is solved. Oh, I see. Now let's read the sign from the side. Underground path. Cerulean City to Vermilion City. Oh yeah, would you look at that? Cerulean City to Vermilion City. I can see the gym and the gym from here. You can't see that it's called the gym though, but I assure you, it is. I remember. Hello there, sir. I'm pretty sure I couldn't cross through here before, because otherwise it would have been really easy for me to get to Cerulean, and I wouldn't have needed to take Rock Tunnel. If I could have gotten to Cerulean without taking Rock Tunnel, I could have just crossed through here before, then I'm really upset that I didn't, but I don't think I could have. If I could have, and I just did that whole Rock Tunnel thing, and all those trainers for no reason, then I'm really mad at myself. If I could have skipped over Rock Tunnel, I'm seething. If I could have skipped through Rock Tunnel and I didn't because I'm dumb, I'm seething. Even though I would want to go in there eventually and like do stuff in there, I would still be pretty mad. You're from Johto, aren't you? How do you like Kanto? It's nice. Don't you agree? Well, yeah, but like, why wouldn't you let me through before, and why are you letting me through now? Unless you did let me through before, and I'm just stupid. But again, I'd be kind of mad if I'm stupid because I could have skipped Rock Tunnel. And even if I was gonna go back to it later in order to like fight trainers and get XP, it still would have filled me with so much what is the word? So much joy. I guess I can't think of the more complicated word I was looking for. It still would have filled me with so much joy. Even if I was gonna go back to Rock Tunnel later and fight the trainers in there anyway, it still would have filled me with so much joy to be able to skip Rock Tunnel. If only temporarily. Alex, good morning. It's me, Daniel. How are you doing? Want a battle? It's not going to be a repeat of the last time we met. I'll be around Route 35. See you later! Click. But yeah, I picked Sothis. Not only because I just don't like Edelgard. I don't like Edelgard as, like, that way. I like her more as, like, a friend type of character. And I really don't like Dorothea all that much at all. Hot take, I know. I'm sure people are going to be yelling at me at the comments for that one. All you Dorothea simps are going to be so angry at me. But, not a big fan of Dorothea. I think she's trying too hard. And I don't think many people would agree with that. But I'm sure a lot of people, don't mind that she's trying too hard, or actively prefer that she's trying too hard. Meanwhile, I just don't like that she's trying too hard. I hope I didn't... Hold on. A lot of people don't mind that... I'm sure that a lot of people don't mind that she's trying too hard, or, actively like that she's trying too hard. I do not like that she's trying too hard. It is definitely a turn-off for me personally. And again, I get why she has to, but I still don't like it. I still personally don't like it in a character that I would be, marrying in-game. It's not a trait that it's definitely not a trait that I would be, it's sort of a red flag for me, in terms of someone I'd be getting into a relationship with in-game. Definitely a deal-breaker for me, how desperate she is. In general, I'm just not a big fan of her personality, but, the fact that she's also acting so, like, desperate. I wouldn't say desperate is the right word, but she definitely wants it. It's very clear that she wants it. The fact that she's, like, the fact that she's trying so hard is, like, a massive turn-off. Her personality is already kind of a turn-off, just because I don't really like her personality all that much. Just like I don't really like Edelgard's personality that much. Or Edelgard, at least, I can like as a friend. In terms of, like, how I feel about characters in Fire Emblem. Dorothea, though, not only do I not really match with her personality at all, but she's also trying too hard. And so that's a deal-breaker in terms of, like, both her being my friend, or being my lover. So Dorothea is just getting kicked to the curb. Edelgard would be my friend, and Sothis is my lover, because let's be honest, like, self-love is very important, and she's literally inside of you, right? What's more self-love? What's more self-loving than that, you know? Marrying someone that is inside of your body. And the way that she's like, now we can finally be, like, together as one for real in, like, more ways than one is just, like, that whole thing that she says at the end about, like, you always being, like, one and the same, now you, like, really are. It's so poetic. It's really lovely. I like it. It's lovely in a weird way. It's poetic in a weird way, for sure, because it's weird that, like, the person you're marrying is, like, inside of you, like, she's been, like, a being that's, like, inhabiting your body as well as you. That's kind of strange. But, it also is poetic, the way that, like, she says it. I like it from, like, a poetic standpoint. Like, this makes sense from a story standpoint, that it would come full circle like this. Like, she's always been a part of you, so it makes sense that she'd be, like, your one and only. But yeah, how I beat the final boss of that game, honestly, was, like, really funny, I think. I forgot to get Pokeballs before I went out here and got an encounter over here. So, yeah, I guess I just kill this Donphan now, because I'm certainly not using a Master Ball on it. Poison Sting, we'll just Poison Sting it again, and this time it'll kill. Womp womp, sorry Donphan, should've gotten in the ball. But yeah, how I beat the final boss of Fire Emblem I thought was really funny, because, the final boss kind of just stays in one place, and doesn't have, like, enough range to combat some of the units that move, like, really far. So basically, I just would... by the time I got to the final boss, and, like, there was nothing left besides the final boss in the... on the battlefield, like, I'd cleared out everything, I'd killed everyone else on the stage, right? In the level, whatever you want to call it. I'd killed every other, enemy. And so there was nothing left besides the final boss itself. The Enlightened one. I think the Enlightened one is what it was called. But, you know, like, dragon form of Archbishop or whatever. So, yeah, the way that I defeated her was essentially just I only had Yuritsa, the Death Knight, and Edelgard left, and they both moved far enough to the point where they could just, like, attack her, and then get out of her range of attack. So, like, I literally pulled up, like, you know, like, her attacking range, like, you know, you can pull up, like, how far she can reach. You can make it so, like, the spaces that she can reach you at are highlighted in red. So I just kind of, like, went in, attacked her, then left. And that was especially with Yuritsa, because obviously Yuritsa, after he hits things, can move back. Can, like, move again. I don't know if he can move again, like, without killing it, so I don't know if he was able to move again, like, after he just, like, hit the thing. But I certainly do remember him, like, killing things and then moving back. Killing things and then moving back. I don't remember if he could, like, just hit things and move back, so I don't remember if he was, like, moving back after every time, moving back out of the range after every time, he hit the Enlightened one. But I think he was, because I don't remember him taking nearly as much damage as Edelgard. But, like, Edelgard was fine, because, you know, she's a tank. And I had plenty of healing. Edelgard was able to, like, heal as she hit the thing. Because she had, like, one of those items where, like, you hold it, and then you're, like, damaged. It's, like, lifesteal. One of those, like, lifesteal items where, like, you hit the enemy, and then you heal back a little bit every time you do. So she's obviously really bulky. She's, like, the defensive one. You know, she's got, like, the big shield. And Yuritsa obviously can, like, hit it and then fall back, hit it and then fall back. So between the two of them, and how many, I believe, concoctions is the highest form of healing I had in my bag, between Edelgard being super bulky, her auto-heal, Yuritsa being able to hit the thing and then fall back, hit the thing and fall back, and them just, like, me being able to just move them in one swift movement out of their range again after hitting them, just made it so I could keep moving in and out, in and out, in and out, and it was never able to do enough damage to kill either of them, so we just kind of slowly whittled it down. I believe it took, like, 30 turns at least, or something it took, like, 30 turns or something crazy like that, but eventually we whittled it down to nothing. Like, we just went in, out, in, out, in, out, like, for all its health bars, because we had no one left by the time we reached the Enlightened one, besides Edelgard and Yuritsa, and I'm like, I'm gonna lose. It's over. I'm gonna have to do this whole thing again. Because I'd, like, reverse time from, I did all my, like, time pulses or whatever they're called, before that, so I'd, like, have to restart the whole thing over if I lost. Because I was out of, like, time pulses to reverse time. Well, I guess you can, like, reverse time after you lose, huh? But, point is, I would have to go, like, back really, really far in order for my team in order to have, like, a good enough team to face her with, like, a full team. Because I'd made a lot of mistakes along the way, where, like, I'd lost really good units. But, yeah, all I had left was Edelgard and Yuritsa, and I really didn't want to have to, like, start over from, like, really, really early on in the fight. So I was like, oh, dang, I'm gonna have to start over, this sucks. But then I'm like, wait a minute, she cannot do enough damage to me to kill, and I have a lot of healing in my back pocket. She cannot do enough damage to kill me in one turn, and we can retreat and then heal. And I have a lot of healing in my back pocket, so it's just attack, retreat, heal, attack, retreat, heal, attack, retreat, heal, over and over again, until eventually we killed her. And I think it's crazy that I had enough healing for it to work. I had just enough, frankly. It was just enough. Like, I was running out. I think I used up my last one. I used up my last one, so essentially Edelgard was on her last health bar when we finally took the thing down. We had the perfect amount of healing that we needed. Just Edelgard and Yuritsa using up all the healing we have left that we've stocked up over the entire course of the game that I hadn't used yet. All the healing that I'd stocked up, Yuritsa and Edelgard were using it. And, just going through all the healing, and eventually we whittled the thing down. My gosh, I should have been doing something while I was talking about this, but I just got so carried away talking about the really cheesy, the way I cheesed this fight, because it was so funny. Misty is about the only person in town who can beat the trainers at Cerulean's Cape. Oh, okay, so I guess that's the place I have to go now. I was wondering, because I'm like, if I go right, then I can't travel any farther right, because I can't, like, go over that ledge that drops down, and I can't go over that ledge that's, like, above me, and I can't go, obviously, through the trees to the left of me, so I can't really go any farther left than this town. I can't go down because, well, I could go down, but that would just bring me back to Saffron again. And obviously right was where I came from, so I was like, where do I go? Up does make sense now that I think about it. You'll run into many trainers on the way to Cerulean's Cape. They want to see how they stack up against other trainers. Okay, that's admirable, I guess. We got all the Ultra Balls that we need. We have tons of Super Potions, so we don't need to buy any potions here. Not Super Potions, Hyper Potions. Even better. So yeah, I guess we'll head up towards Cerulean's Cape now, and see if we can do a little bit of that before, or like the entire thing of that, honestly, before we end off the episode. We'll see. But yeah, Yuritsa honestly was my GOAT throughout the entire game. I think that, obviously they show you, like, your stats at the end, and obviously my character was, hold on. Hey, kid! Me am a Team Rocket member, kind of guy. Come from another country! Oh, no, oh, wait, I'm sorry. Hold on. Wait, I didn't realize that he... Sorry, hold on. Now I feel really bad. He's foreign, that's why he talks like that, frick. Oh gosh. I'm gonna stop reading his dialogue now. Think I did. If stop the energy. Be big panic for here, people. Secret it is my mission, so tell you I not. But if win you do versus me, a man I be, and mine secret to you I tell. Hey, kid, battle begin we do. Ooh, yeah? That is an unfortunate joke for me to make, huh? I really did not realize. I'm sorry, guys, I did not realize. And I still kept Jean in front. Gosh darn it. He really should have led with that, because then I wouldn't have been making fun of him. Anyway. Yeah, it shows you your stats at the end. And, my character, like, who was the MVP of, like, the most, of, like, the story matches, because obviously it doesn't show you, like, the MVPs of, like, every single battle you do, but, like, the battles that are important to the story, that are, like, required for the story, it does show you the MVPs of those, and I think it makes sense. I think this makes sense, but I think it kind of goes without saying, honestly. For a first playthrough, I think this makes a lot of sense. I think it's, like, pretty much always this way for a first playthrough, I'd imagine. But, my MVP was myself. Dare I say that that's... My MVP the most times was myself. Dare I say that is always how it is in like, any playthrough, not just your first playthrough. Because... no, believe it, I can't! Strong very much be you, match I am not to you! Okay, tell you mine secret, will I? Machine part steal by me, hide it, I did, in gym of the Cerulean. Inside water, put it, I did. Look for in water, center of gym at. Boy, but you forget me not. Beat you for sure, will Team Rocket. Come from Johto, will they? Mine. Friends, yes. Will revenge they are. You say what? Team Rocket bye-bye, a go-go? Broken it is, says you? Oh no! Oh, no! Should I do what now on from me? What? I'm sorry, what? I don't understand what you're saying, I'm sorry. So, yeah, dare I say it's how it is in every, playthrough of the game. Unless you're, like, actively trying to make it not that way. I think it is... Dare I say it's how it is in every playthrough of the game, unless you're trying to make it not that way, that, your MVP in the most matches during your playthrough is yourself. It just makes the most sense, because they make your character really OP. Obviously, like, once you reach your enlightened form, you become, like, crazy powerful. You were pretty good to begin with, but, like, I looked at the stats of, like, you know, all the, like, MVPs for, like, all the different story battles, and towards the beginning, there were a lot of, like, Hubert and Edelgard MVPs. There was one Caspar MVP in the entire game, and I think that's crazy. Basically, the MVPs for the entire game were, Edelgard and Hubert got most of them at the beginning. which I feel is fair. I think those are both very good units. And I think that Edelgard... Yeah, Edelgard and Uber got most of the ones at the beginning. Like, after the, like, time skip, where you all grow up, obviously I got a couple, pre-time skip, but after the time skip, my character got a couple pre-time skip, but after the time skip, my character got a lot more, because they reached, like, the Enlightened form, and they got super powerful, and they got, like, Sword of the Creator and stuff. So, obviously that's a big buff, because, like, not only do your stats get higher, and you're just, like, really broken, stat-wise, but you also have, like, your sword has range now. That's good. That's good, too. But, yeah. Post-time skip, I definitely became... That's really good, too, that your sword has range now. You can use it as a whip, so you can hit people far away with it, which is not something that any other character really does with a sword, unless they have, like, the electric sword that allows you to strike people with lightning. That's cool. I like that weapon a lot. Petra had it for a while, but Petra was never really good. Petra was never really a good unit on my team. They were always the most underleveled, so they really didn't ever do anything, but they did get a couple kills with the electric sword. Whereas they got no kills the entire rest of the game. I think they got like 1 or 2 without the electric sword the entire game, and then with the electric sword, they got 3. Just with that weapon, at just that point in the game where they had that weapon. So yeah, electric sword, definitely good. I don't remember what it's called, but there's definitely an electric sword that Petra was wielding at one point, and it was really good. Really good for her. Really good on her. Made her actually good for a while. Beat the 6 of us trainers to win a fabulous prize. Think you've got what it takes? Oh, so now, like, the goldenrod... Not the goldenrod. The people who were on Nugget Bridge are now no longer on Nugget Bridge, which I was wondering about. I'm like, why are all the trainers that were previously on Nugget Bridge not on Nugget Bridge anymore? They're not on Nugget Bridge anymore because they've gone off the bridge. Now, like, the Nugget Bridge challenge or whatever, where they give you a nugget at the end, no longer exists. And they've just gone off the bridge, and now they're on the route after the bridge. That's cool, I like that. That's an interesting choice. That's an interesting change that they made. I don't know why. I don't know the purpose of it. I don't know why they'd leave the bridge. I feel like fighting 6 super powerful trainers on a bridge is cooler than fighting 6 super powerful trainers just on the route, like on a basic route. I feel like the bridge thing is cooler, but it's neat that they changed it. It's neat that they made a change here. That's cool. I also noticed, I don't think that's Nugget Bridge. I think that's just a bridge. Did they demolish Nugget Bridge? Is that why they left Nugget Bridge? I don't know why they demolished Nugget Bridge. I don't think it said Nugget Bridge below that bridge. I think it just said, like, something about a bridge. It didn't say, like, specifically Nugget Bridge, and that thing doesn't look like Nugget Bridge. It looks like way less golden, way less cool than Nugget Bridge. It looks like a basic bridge, like basic wooden bridge, not really like the golden metal spectacle that Nugget Bridge was. Whoa, good stuff! Thank you. So I guess they must have... Either I'm remembering incorrectly, and that's how it was in Gen 1 too, it just looked like that. Or in Gen 1 it was like a much cooler looking bridge, not like your average wooden bridge like this one. And like the bridge and like the wooden bridges that were most bridges in Gen 1. So yeah, it was either... But like I'm pretty sure that in Gen 1 it was like not like... It was like a golden, interesting looking bridge. Obviously not like... You couldn't tell it was golden because it was black and white, but like it was an interesting looking bridge, like a fancy looking bridge, rather than like the normal wooden ones you found in that game and this game as well. Because it uses like both games use like the same bridge design. In general, I think that Gen 2 takes a lot of assets from Gen 1 and just gives them color. So I think they have like similar bridge designs, but I feel like Nugget Bridge definitely did not look like the bridge that it looks like. I feel like Nugget Bridge in Gen 1 definitely doesn't look like the bridge that we just crossed here in Gen 2. I did my best. I have no regrets. Like, Nugget Bridge did not look like this, right? It looked more interesting than this, certainly. I feel like it was wider, too. Also, there's not water on this side, is there? Is this even a bridge? Wait, this just looks like a path. Is this even a bridge over water, or does the water just end there? Like, it doesn't look like water's going under it, because there's not, like, water on this side. This might just be a path. Maybe they ditched the bridge. I'm gonna have to read that thing again. Does it even say bridge? I thought it said bridge, but maybe it doesn't say bridge at all. Cerulean Cape, ahead. Yeah, it says nothing about a bridge. Okay, I just imagined that it says something about a bridge. There was no mention of a bridge. They just demolished the entire bridge. The Nugget Bridge is gone. That's crazy. I'm hurt. I'm hurt by that. That's sad. I miss Nugget Bridge. So I think we can get another encounter over here. We skipped out on the encounter that was on that previous route. Over to the left. But, we can get an encounter here. Eevee! Okay, that's cool. We can... Well, I was gonna say we can evolve that with the Leaf Stone that we got. Wait, did we get a Leaf Stone? No, I think I'm mixing up series. Sorry. I'm sure we have some sort of stone somewhere that we could use on this thing. But I fear it would just evolve into another, what is it, Hoppip? Hoppip is what everything evolves into in the series? Yeah, I fear it would just evolve into another Hoppip, so I'm kind of hesitant to use, like, a hard-to-come-by item on it to make it evolve, just for it to evolve into a Hoppip. But, I mean, I guess, what else am I gonna use, high-quality, like, a hard-to-find item on? Something else that will evolve into a Hoppip? Like, I don't see why my apprehension comes from on second thought, because, like, it doesn't matter that I'm using it on an Eevee, or on some other thing that evolves via Evolutionary Stone. Either way, I'm using it on something that's probably gonna evolve into a Hoppip, so it doesn't really matter. Wow, okay, so, I mean, I guess we can go across the water here. We also killed the Eevee, that's unfortunate. Do I want to go across the water to get back, or do I want to go across the grass? I was like, I was thinking to myself, like, why is it that... Wait, the water is calm. Hold on. Can I... Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was thinking, why is there a staircase down here, a little step down here, onto this sand, where it, like, leads to nothing. But I was like, oh, wait, so this is... Oh, wait, no, the sand is so that you have a way to get to the water. Like, you can go off the water onto the... You can go off the sand onto the water with your surf Pokemon. But you can do that here, too, so I really don't know why this path led down to, like, a sandy spot here, because this sandy spot was not here in Gen 1. I'm very confident in saying that. But I guess, random sandy spot. Cool. Whatever. Sure. Why not? So now we're fighting another trainer over here. Another one of the 6. I'm second. Now it's serious. That's the same line from Gen 1. I love that. But yeah. Pre-time skip, it was, Edelgard, Hubert, mostly Edelgard and Hubert, with a couple sprinkled in here and there of me for the MVPs. I really need to switch Gene out of the front. I keep on saying it, keep on not doing it. Hold on, I'm just gonna keep saying it till the end of this battle, actually. I'll continue with the Fire Emblem thought after the battle. I'm switching Gene out of the front. 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 The front is being where Gene is not going to longer be, because I am going to switch Gene out of the front. Gene will not be in the front any longer because I'm switching Gene out of the front. That is what I am doing. After this battle, you know what I'm doing? I'm switching Gene out of the front. What I'm doing after this battle is going to be that I'm switching Gene out of the front. The front will be where Gene is no longer going to be after this battle because I'm switching Gene out of the front. How many more ways can I come up with to say this? Gene is no longer going to be in the front after this battle because the front will no longer be where Gene is. How could I lose? I don't know, but I'm going to switch Gene out of the front. That is what I do now. So here I go, switching Gene out of the front. I'm not going to stop talking about it until I do it, so that I am being reassured as I do it, that I'm switching Gene out of the front. Because that is what I'm doing right now. I'm switching Gene out of the front. I'm switching Gene out of the front. I'm switching Gene out of the front. Switching Gene out of the front. Done. Okay. I just needed a lot of reinforcement of the thought. And now the entirety of the rest of the episode, I will be thinking nothing but switching Gene out of the front. I did my best. I have no regrets. Oh, did they all say that after they lose? Did this guy say it too? I feel like this guy said it too. I did my best. I have no regrets. Oh, okay. Yeah, they all say I did my best. I have no regrets after losing too, I guess. After losing to me, I guess. Here's number 3. I won't be easy. But yeah. Most of the MVPs the vast majority of the MVPs pre-time skip were Hubert and Edelgard, and then with a couple of them sprinkled in, a couple of my character MVPs sprinkled in. And then once we got past, once we were post-time skip, there were really very few Hubert MVPs. The amount of Hubert MVPs went down massively. The amount of Edelgard MVPs went up, because obviously she just kind of took, like, the amount of MVPs that were previously Hubert and Edelgard, yes, it went down, because there were now more MVPs that were me, but, there were less MVPs that were Hubert. So overall, I think that Edelgard no longer having to share, like, the primary MVP spot with Hubert, Hubert's amount of MVPs going down massively, almost to 0. I think he had, like, 2 post-time skip. Meanwhile, Edelgard had, like, way more than him. Like, whereas pre-time skip, it was Hubert and Edelgard that had, like, the vast majority of them, with me sprinkled in every once in a while. Post-time skip, it was mostly, the vast majority of them were me and Edelgard, with, like, a couple Huberts here and there. And one singular Caspar. One singular Caspar MVP. Caspar got no usage, like, basically none. He came in, killed a couple things, then normally died. He was so low level at the beginning of, he was so low level at the beginning of he was so low level at the beginning of post-time skip. But, he was so low level at the beginning of post-time skip. But, as post-time skip, like, went on, he definitely caught up to everyone, to everyone else in levels, like, fairly quickly, honestly. Obviously, he was always, like, a little bit higher level than Petra, because Petra had always been, like, the lowest level, but not by much. Then, like, post-time, and then, like, the time skip passed. Post-time skip, Caspar had a massive glow-up. I gave him the Brave Axe, so he was doing, like, 4 attacks on one enemy, you know? Like, Brave Axe, you get to attack twice. I think it's Brave Axe is what I'm talking about. But it's, like, whatever axe it is that you get to, like, strike twice with it. And then, obviously, like, units, mostly, like, a lot of the time, like, units will get hit. Units will, like, strike twice when it's their turn, then get hit, then... Sorry, a lot of the time units will strike, and then get hit, and then strike again when it's their turn. So, that, obviously, when each strike is 2 strikes, turns into Caspar striking, striking again, getting hit, striking, striking again. Like, my gosh, was Caspar putting in so much work when he got to attack 4 times. Then he was just killing everything in one turn. And, he was getting, obviously, levels very quickly. And eventually, obviously, it got to a point where he finally got an MVP. And it's crazy that the entire game, the MVPs had just been me, Hubert, and Edelgard. And it was continuing to be that way, post-time skip. Obviously, it had changed from mostly Hubert and Edelgard with a little bit of me, to mostly me and Edelgard with a little bit of Hubert. But it was still just me, Hubert, and Edelgard, as, like, the only people getting MVPs. Literally, the only people getting MVPs. For any, main match, for any main story fights. Only me, Hubert, and Edelgard were getting MVPs. For the entire game, all the main story fights, the MVPs were just me, Hubert, and Edelgard. Until Caspar got 1. And that was the only time that an MVP in a main story match, the MVPs that they keep track of in, like, the final results, look through after you beat the game. It is the only one of those where, any of them, it is the only one of those where the MVP was anyone besides me, Hubert, or Edelgard in the entire game. So it was a playthrough full of MVPs as me, it was a playthrough full of the MVPs being me, Hubert, and Edelgard. Nothing but that. No one but those 3. No one but those 3. And one singular Caspar MVP. And you better bet I popped off when I saw one singular Caspar MVP in, like, the results summary. When it was looking through, like, when it was going through, like, all the battles, and it was like, MVP in this match was this, MVP in this match was this. It's like, Edelgard, 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 Hubert, me, Hubert, 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 Edelgard, me, Edelgard. And then, like, me, Hubert, me, Edelgard, Hubert, Edelgard, 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 Caspar, Edelgard, me, Edelgard. The one Caspar. The one singular Caspar ruining the pattern. And by that I mean making the pattern his own. Because he was the enigma that disturbed the pattern but did not ruin it. He changed the pattern from always being the case. He broke the pattern. He didn't ruin it, but he broke it. He was the enigma. He was the outlier in this trend of it just being me, Hubert, and Edelgard. He was the outlier, but he did not ruin it. That is clear. That much is clear. He did not ruin the pattern. He simply was the enigma, the outlier, and for that reason, he was hype. He did not ruin it. He only made it better by being the enigma. Ow! Stomped flat! Okay. And let me guess, you're gonna say the exact same thing that the other two said. Alex, good morning. It's me, Wayne. How are you doing? Sorry, Batman voice, I forgot. My Natu's looking awesome. I wish I could show you. Oh, yeah. I managed to beat a tough Dratini. I need to make my party stronger. See you later. Okay, see you, Batman. Oh, sorry, you didn't hear that, Mr. Guy right in front of me. You did not hear me just say that Wayne is, Batman. You totally did not hear that at all. I did my best. I have no regrets. Yep, he said the exact same thing as the other three. Not other three, he's the third one. The other two. So now, off to another trainer, which I'm sure is going to say the exact same thing. Are you also one of those trainers, or are you, like, a trainer that just happens to be here? Like, are you one of the 6 powerful ones? Because you are wearing green. The other ones are wearing... Those super powerful ones seem to be wearing blue. So are you just, like, dressed differently, and you're also one of them? Or are you, like, just here? Like, you're not one of them, but you're just here. I don't know. On number 4, getting tired? No. I was gonna say, however, I have forgotten once again to switch Jean out of the front, but that is not the case this time. I did not forget that. I am so used to forgetting to switch Jean out of the front that I almost said that I forgot to switch Jean out of the front when I had not. I had been so conditioned that I'd forgotten that I hadn't forgotten. But, I did in fact switch Jean out of the front, finally. Alex, you did it. Congratulations. Stop thinking that you didn't. You did. You've finally done the thing that you spent an entire episode saying you would do. It feels odd now. It feels weird to say that I finally actually switched him out of the front. It feels weird to have another Pokemon in the front now. It's been so long of me saying I'd switch him out of the front, Jean, but not actually doing it. Now it feels weird that there's actually another Pokemon in front. Now it feels weird that I actually did it, because I have nothing to critique myself about. It's like, Alex, you're so stupid. You keep keeping Jean in front. You keep keeping Jean in front. You're so stupid. You're so dumb. Why do you keep on doing this? You keep on forgetting. You're so silly. Now that I don't have a reason to insult myself, I don't know what to say. It just feels weird now that I don't have a reason to insult myself for keeping. Now I don't have a reason to insult myself. Now that I've done everything right. Now that I've finally switched out the character that I've been saying I'm gonna switch out. It feels odd. But yeah, a Ho-Oh's coming in, another Ho-Oh. Not the first Ho-Oh we've encountered in this game, but it's the first Ho-Oh we've encountered in a while, for sure. So what are we going to put up against it? Stacy is definitely not the move. 1, because it's a fire type, 2, because it's a flying type. So who is the move? I'd say probably Judy. Yeah, that makes sense. Water type against the fire flying type? Ooh, it is? I did not think about that. Water Psychic type would have been better than Water Fighting type against the Fire Flying type, yeah. I was just thinking about the fire part, wasn't really thinking about the flying part. The flying part was definitely an afterthought. I was mostly thinking about the fire part, and I was like, oh yeah, water, we got that. We can beat it with a water type move. But what if it beats us with a flying type move? That's something I did not consider. So, hopefully, it is not a problem that I did not consider that, and we just, one-hit KO it with a Surf. Well, would you look at that? Sometimes, you make a mistake, and it just doesn't matter. you make a dumb mistake, and you're like, wow, I made a really dumb mistake. But, sometimes the mistake just isn't impactful. Sometimes, it's no sweat. Vileplume is, like, doing a nice little pose in this game. I don't know if it is, or it's just, like, the angle. It's not, like, just standing on a certain angle on the ground, right? That is it, like, with one leg up in the air doing, like, a ballerina pose, right? That is how it's supposed to be interpreted. It's not, like, a weird dimension thing where it looks like it's got one foot off the ground, but actually it's just, like, that foot is actually further back than the other. It is, like, actually doing, like, the ballerina pose. If it is doing the ballerina pose, if that's how it is intended to be viewed, then I definitely like that. I like that a lot. It looks way nicer than the Gen 1 sprite. Which is something I can't say about all of the Gen 2 sprites, even though they have color. Like, some of the Gen 1 sprites have a lot of charm, and I actually really like them. like a lot, like more than the Gen 2 sprites even, like more than the colored Gen 2 sprites even. It doesn't matter that they're black and white, they just have so much charm that like they're better than even the colored ones in Gen 2. But that Vileplume one is definitely one that outdoes the Gen 1 Vileplume one by a lot. I lost 2. Gen 1 Vileplume sprite, not my favorite. Gen 1 Gloom sprite, very good. Gen 1 Vileplume sprite, not my favorite. Not even close, actually. It's not, I really do not, I wouldn't say I really do not like it, but I definitely looked at it and on impulse said, I don't like that sprite. I definitely was thinking that to myself when I first saw it. The body just feels like the Gen 1 sprite of Vileplume, the body just feels like really thin by comparison to the flower. And like, there's a difference between the body feeling big feeling small by comparison to the flower, which is what it is in future games, and feeling thin by comparison to the flower. You know, like the body looking small in comparison to the flower is like fine. It's like how it's designed, and it's charming even, because it's like a little body in comparison to this big flower that they have on their head. Like, I like that from a design standpoint. When the body is like super thin though, when it's not small, but it's thin, that looks weird. It just looked strange. Okay, I'm number 5. I'll stop you! But... let me think about what I'm gonna say. Just take a second to think. Send into Magnemite. Magnemite's got a little blue shading on him, that's nice. It's not like entirely blue, like the 3D model. It is like mostly white, with like blue tints on it. They could have made it entirely blue, but sometimes Gen 2 does that, I feel, where they like make it... They don't like make the Pokemon entirely the color that it's supposed to be. They just make it like partially that color and leave some of it white. And I think it looks kind of good, honestly, because it looks like there's like a lot of light shining on it. It gives it like an air of having shading, you know? It looks like there's like a lot of light shining on a certain part of it to the point where like, you can't see the color because it's just like bright white. So actually, it looks quite good. You'd think like not coloring in part of the Pokemon would look lazy, but it actually looks quite good in this situation because it looks like they're adding like light effects to it. It looks like shading. It looks like a little spots of light on it where like the light is shining really intensely so you can't see the color. It looks nice, actually. So... Whoa! Too much! So yeah, as I was saying, Vileplume, Gen 1 sprite, not my favorite Gen 1 sprite. I would say, obviously, honestly, probably some of my least favorite Gen 1 sprites. I would say Gen 1 has some very good sprites. I'm a big fan of Gen 1 sprites. I don't know what sprites I like better, Gen 1 sprites or Gen 2 sprites. They're both good in their own ways. But, I really don't hate any game's sprites, if I'm being honest, at any generation sprites. But, Gen 1 sprites, I would say Vileplume is definitely, like, in my top 5 least favorite Gen 1 sprites. I did my best. I have no regrets. Yep, just like all the others. Anyone over here that I need to fight? Or is it just, like, grass? Yeah, it's just grass. Okay. So that was number 5, so I think that the next one should be the last one. I think it says there were 6, right? Unless, there are... Oh yeah, I'm the last in line. But I tell you, I'm tough! So who's that guy? I see a guy, like, further to the right of us. Is that, like, secret final boss of this thing? Like, it's 6 and then, like, the secret one? Or is he just, like, not related to this at all and he just happens to be standing there? That could be the case. But yeah, I don't really like the Vileplume sprite in Gen 1. I do like the Gloom sprite in Gen 1 a lot better. But at the same time, I like the Gloom sprite even more than I like the Gloom sprite in Gen 1. At the same time, I like the Gloom sprite in Gen 2 even more than I like the Gloom sprite in Gen 1. Elekid's coming in? Okay. So Leech Life and Poison Sting are both not very good. I'd like some better Bug and Poison Stab on this Pokemon, because frankly, our best move right now is honestly just Nightshade. Which sucks that our best move isn't even Stab. But our Stab is so bad. It's not that we don't have Stab, so our best move is, not Stab. Instead it's that we have Stab, but our Stab just simply sucks. So, Nightshade is even better than our Stab, which is crazy. Maybe not if the stab was super effective. Maybe if the stab was super effective, then it would be better than the Nightshade. But for now, Nightshade is definitely doing the job better than really anything else. Low kick might be better than I'm giving it credit for. It's not stab, but it does have pretty high power, I guess. Maybe low kick might be better than Nightshade in some situations. I think Nightshade, well, in that case it was super effective, so definitely it was better than Nightshade in that situation. But is it better than Nightshade in situations where it's not super effective? That's my question. But yeah, Gen 1 Gloom Sprite I like a lot more than the Gen 1 Vileplume Sprite, but Gen 2 Gloom Sprite I like even better than the Gen 1 Gloom Sprite. And then, obviously, I would say that, honestly, the Gen 2 Vileplume Sprite I like even better than the Gen 2 Gloom Sprite. So it's really funny how that works, that, like, in Gen 1, I do not like the Vileplume Sprite, but I like the Gloom Sprite. Well, okay, I guess I like both in Gen 2, but in Gen 1, I like the Gloom Sprite more than the Vileplume Sprite, and then in Gen 2, I like the Vileplume Sprite more than the Gloom Sprite, but I still like the... So that's interesting. But I still like the Gloom Sprite in Gen 2 more than I like any of the sprites for Gloom or Vileplume in Gen 1. So in general, for this evolution line, I think Gen 2 just wins. Gen 1 Oddish Sprite's pretty good, but I think Gen 2 Sprite might be better just because of the color. Like, there's not much differentiation, honestly, between the Gen 1 and Gen 2 Oddish Sprites. They look pretty much the same. With Gloom and Vileplume, there's, like, obvious proportional differences. And, like, little details that make a big difference in terms of, like, the way the designs look. Oddish is pretty much the same. Little differences in the way that, like, in between, like, how the Gen 1 and Gen 2 Vileplume and Gloom sprites look are very apparent. They're little, but they make a big difference in how it, like, overall looks. They're very apparent. But, with the Oddish sprite, with Gen 1 and Gen 2 Oddish sprites, I'd say it looks pretty much the same. So then the Gen 2 one is just better because it's, like, basically the same thing, but in color. So I think that, like, Gen 1, like, the Gen 2 Gloom and Vileplume sprites are much better than the Gen 1 Gloom and Vileplume sprites, but the Gen 2 Oddish sprite is just, like, a little bit better than the Gen 1 Oddish sprite because it's, like, pretty much the same thing, only with color. You're kidding. No, I'm not kidding. It's better. Just, like, a little bit. I did my best. I have no regrets. That's what they all say. Right down to the 6th one. So who are you? I have nothing to do with the 6-pack trainers. That's what I was asking, actually. So thank you for answering my question. Like, very blatantly. I waited here to beat you when you were tired out by all the battles. Well, I'm afraid, sir, you waited here for no reason, because I'm not tired. I'm perfectly fine. So, Strongman Ann was over here scheming while we were fighting those other trainers, thinking that, just because, we were getting tired out, quote-unquote, while fighting them, he could beat us at the end once we beat all those trainers. But, I've got news for him. My Pokemon's health look like this. The health of my Pokemon looks like this. So, yeah, my team's doing fine. Even if I was tired, which I'm not, and even if my character was tired, which I'm sure he's not, my team is doing just fine, friend, and that's what's important. Because honestly, if I was so tired that I couldn't command him properly, or my character was so tired that they couldn't command him properly, I think they are such dependable, great Pokemon that they could figure it out themselves at this point. Honestly, what purpose do I even serve? They could go off on their own, start their own journey. They do fine, I'm sure. But they choose to stay with me because of friendship or whatever. So, that's cool. That's wholesome and stuff. But we're just gonna Nightshade this Poliwrath till it frickin' dies, and the Poliwrath isn't really gonna be able to do much about it. Because its first turn, it went for Hypnosis and missed. So that's already an unfortunate way to start off a battle, especially when that battle it ends in 3 turns. You consumed a third of your turns using Hypnosis. And the rest, you simply used a not-so-strong move, and I don't even remember the other thing. Aren't you tired at all? No, we've been through this. I'm not. Not in the slightest. I'm sorry. I won't cheat anymore. I mean, go ahead. You want to, like, wait around to people get tired out? Sure, you go for it. That's your prerogative. That's your strategy. But just know, it didn't work on me. This tree can be cut down. Yep, it sure can. That's why I went up to it and pressed A on it. Alex found black apricorn, but I cannot pick it up because it is, my bag is full. So let me drop some stuff, if I can, if I want to. I mean, is there anything I'm willing to drop for black apricorn? Possibly another apricorn? Do I have any other apricorns that I'd be willing to drop just so I can get this Pokeball off the ground? So I don't, like, look at it later and be like, oh, I forgot a Pokeball. I don't think I have any apricorns that I can drop real quick. It does not seem that I do. No. So in that case, I'm just gonna go past it, and I guess we'll come back for it later, or maybe we won't. I don't know. Oh. Hello, Misty. Aw, why did you have to show up and bug us now? Do you know what they call people like you? Pests! You heard me right, pest! Oh? Those badges you have. Are they Johto Gym badges? If you have 8, you must be good. Okay, then. Come to Cerulean Gym. I'll be happy to take you on. I'm Misty, the gym leader in Cerulean. Okay. You think you would have started with that. I feel like starting with your name is a good way to introduce yourself, but whatever. I guess it's her prerogative to do it a different way. She's interesting. She's truly like no other girl, I suppose. A little weird, some might say. A little weird, I might say. But that's Misty, huh? Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, EV Clan. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. This is Alex Espion, signing off.